family lives under a bridge, lost everything they owned. Now empty cardboard boxes are what they're calling home. This is where Jesus would go. There's a white-haired widowed lady laying in intensive care. No one goes to see her when she needs some love and prayer. This is where Jesus would go. This is where Jesus would go.
Hey, I got news for you. Time is getting short, and these people are of value to the God we serve. Let's go get these people what they need so they and God can meet. Don't just build a bridge. Go the right way on the bridge. We're building bridges so we can bring the hope of the gospel to the people. We're building a bridge of relationship. When I build a bridge of relationship with a person, and you do this individually, do you follow what I'm saying? You do this individually. You can't. God told me this a long time ago when I was in Egypt, and I was walking through Esbet, which is a very poor district. It's the dump. People living there in Esbet in the dump, where they get the water turned on for about 2 hours every few days to a week. And they got to gather up all the polluted water they can out of the Nile River, and that's their drinking water for the whole time. They don't bathe because they need the water to drink, to live. Of course, their lifespan's shortened because of the poisons in the water. But it's better than dying right away, isn't it? Look, I can't do much to change that poverty. I can't topple their government, and I can't go bring them aid to relieve them. But what I can bring them is the hope of the gospel of truth. And believe me, speaking as a man walking, if you walk in my shoes, you could understand this. And I'm not going to share some of these details with you about my life, because really, this isn't the place for it. You want to know? Get to know me. Build a relationship with me. My life's an open book. All right? There is freedom in the midst of bondage. There is wealth in the midst of poverty. Economically, I can be the poorest man in the world and yet still be the wealthiest man in the world. I can be the freest man in the world and still be held in chains. You see, when you have the hope of Christ in your life, you live above your circumstances. And that's what we bring people. We bring people the hope to live beyond their circumstances, above their circumstances. The bridge of relationship that we build is not necessarily an escape route for them to join our class of society, or what we may define as the right way to live. Now, if it's beneficial to them and it's helpful to them, then fine. More power to it. A social bridge is a good bridge. But it's not the bridge that they need. The bridge that they need is the kingdom bridge. And that's what we do. We are kingdom builders. And to build the kingdom, we build bridges, kingdom bridges, to bridge the gulf between us and them, so that we can carry to them the gospel of hope. And we carry to them the gospel of hope, not by building this bridge and then suddenly whipping out a Bible and saying, "Thus saith the Lord." No. You see, out of relationship with two people, they get to see your life when you live transparent as a true believer of Christ before them. They get to see your value system and the way you live your life and the way you handle situations, and the door is open for freedom for them to ask questions that you don't ask strangers. They may find out that their perception of your economic stature is way off, and you are nowhere near as wealthy as they thought you were. When you have a crisis with your child, when you have a crisis with your spouse, when you have a crisis with your church or other relationship, and you live transparent before these people that you're building relationship with. And I'm not saying you got to spill your guts about everything, but you know, you're building a relationship, all right? They're not strangers, and they're not people you're trying to minister to. They're not those people anymore. They become your friend, your dear friend, whom you love, whom you value, whom you care about, whom you invest yourself into. See, our bridge is a bridge to bring them the hope of Jesus Christ. It's a kingdom bridge. But that bridge acts as the doorway, the meeting place. That bridge is relationship. Relationship is also spelled T-I-M-E. Same as love. Because our relational bridge, our kingdom bridge, has to be built on love. Otherwise, it's a hollow and empty bridge. I want you to think about these things. And I know that this is a difficult thing to do. It's very easy and yet very difficult all at the same time. This isn't something we do and we check off our list. This is something we continually do, because you see, you build that bridge and you got to maintain that bridge for that bridge to be usable. And that takes time and focused energy. I remember, we have to meet them where they're at. We have to meet them with that innocent heart, that childlike heart. Then we begin relationship. This initiates the bridge building process, and then the traffic of the bridge. Remember what this bridge is about. It's not a social bridge trying to bring social reform to their life. This is a kingdom bridge where we're bringing the hope of the gospel into their life. Now you're going to see areas of their life that they have need, that you're able to fill those needs. And we're going to cover that eventually. But right now, meet the need. If you're able to meet the need, then meet the need. But in time and in out of that place of relationship, don't meet the need out of a desire to do good. Meet the need out of that loving relationship that you're building with that person. Because sometimes meeting their needs simply enables them to perpetuate something that is destructive to them. But sometimes meeting that need is beneficial to helping and growing them. Remember, we are bridge builders. And the first step of building a bridge is to see where we're going. We approach that with the innocent heart of a child. We meet people where they're at. We accept people where they're at. Don't tell a prostitute what she's doing is wrong. She's doing what she's got to do. You want to see real change in her life? Real hope in her life? Salvation in her life? You want to see kingdom in her life? Then don't go and say you're a prostitute. How about you accept her where she's at and you love her where she's at? Don't say, you know what, you're a meth head. They know that. They didn't need you to tell them that. Hey, news flash. I sat in a church right before I met Jesus as a guest. Swore I'd never go back into church, any church. But I was never going back to that one. As that man stood up there, and I had my hair and my long hair and my leather on, and 3 days worth of motorcycle party and a hangover, smelling like a stale brewery and probably still smelling like pot smoke. And all he could do is tell me how people like me are going to hell, that we're sinners, we're drunkards, fornicators. I knew that. I did not need to take my Sunday morning away from my bedroll up at the bike party where people will love me for who I am to come here to hear somebody tell me that I'm a bad person. And people don't need us to build a bridge to tell them they're a bad person, that they're a needy person, that they're one of those people that we need to help. People need us to build bridges so we can go to them and tell them that, first, I love you. I see value in you. I care about you. They need it because why do I love you? Why do I care about you? Because Jesus loves you. Because he died on a cross for you. But you see, if I come across that bridge and I open up my conversation and relationship immediately with, hey, now that we've established a bridge, let me tell you, Jesus loves you. He died for you. Hey, that's cool, man. That's, yeah, hey, everybody should have their own beliefs. But you live a transparent life out of that relationship. You spend time with these people that you're reaching, that you're trying to reach. And you're going to find that they want what you have. And they're going to begin to ask you for what you have. And you're going to find evangelism looks a little different. Because it's no longer just sharing the gospel message, but it's discipling the very people you share that message with. And there you see real kingdom growth. Think about it. God bless you.
There's a broken-hearted father suffered his greatest loss as he watched his only son die on an old rugged cross. This is where Jesus would go. This is where Jesus would go.